Martinez. Of course, there's nobody in here right now, but I just want to give my thoughts on this game. I thought we played very slow in the first half. I thought we played really, really well in the second half. I thought even before Rasman came on, I thought that Martial was actually starting to play pretty well. Him and Marcus was doing well. We're playing good on defense. Um, I'd have to. I really need to find out why that wasn't a goal for us. It looked like his head would have put him on side. Obviously, don't know when you're looking at angles, but it looked like his head was where his foot was. And I thought that the Premiership was going to start doing things to give the advantage to the striker. I mean, that's another one that's a millimeter off. Either way you look at it, I guess. Um, we didn't deserve to lose. The second half, I thought we outplayed them. They couldn't really do anything, and then we just Evans has to get through. I guess it's Saliba that was holding on to him. He has to get through him to get to Rice. He didn't do it. You shouldn't get beat um, on your near post. He should have been able to knock that ball out. I don't even know that David would have done it, but I think that even though it was hit hard, I think that he should have been able to do something with that ball. He got a hand on it. It made it come back at him. He might have put it back out front, and maybe would have went back in. There's really no excuse. I don't even know how that was a corner to begin with. Odegaard hit the ball over the top of the goal. I didn't see it deflect at all, but apparently it did, and allowed them to do another. I don't think they do anything other than what they just did. Then, of course, at the end, when you're trying to get the goal, the tying goal, you're going to get caught, and then Evans was caught out. He allowed them to be on side, and it was a good finish at the end. But okay, everything Delone did everything he could do to come back to try to stop that, but he couldn't do it. I don't know what happened with Martinez. I thought he played pretty well. The first 30 minutes, I thought Arsenal were the better team, but they didn't do anything. Um, Great goal by Odegaard. Marcus, good goal. Uh, it was like they were being very, very respectful to us, which I don't know why they would. And we always have problems when they actually open their game, and that causes issues. But still, I thought we had them under control, and we were the only ones that really looked like we were going to score at the end of that game until what happened. After Ganacho scored, then they wiped it off, and then just on a corner, like I said, Evans has to get through. He has to get through that defender or that I think it was Saliba. You're going to have to make it more obvious to the referee to get the foul there. It was a foul, but they're not going to call it. They're going to do it late in the game after they think that that the crowd also thinks they should have got a penalty, which was a dive by Havertz. I don't understand why he didn't get yellow for that. And Saka did the same thing. He dived, nothing. Um, it's unfortunate because I think we played pretty well, and I think what we're going to see in the future with Rasmus in it. We're a totally different type of team. We're more physical up front. He's very good with the ball. He had a good chance 2 or 3 minutes into the game. He almost could have scored himself. Uh, I just think we're going to be a lot better. It's just unfortunate. We should have got something out of the game. Uh, Whatever. Congratulations to Arsenal. They'll think their trophy for this year because they're not going to beat City for the league. They're probably not going to win any trophies anywhere else unless they get like the FA Cup or the League Cup. It's just like last year. Even though Arsenal probably actually played better last year against us, even though we got 2 goals. It's just unfortunate. I not We've already played 20 or 96 minutes. It's 1-1. They get a fluky corner, and like I said, Evans didn't do what he's supposed to do there. He has to get to the player. He has to get to Rice to stop him from doing that. And I think Onana has to stop that. I really do. I think he has. He's right there on his own post. He's got to get that thing where it's outside, uh, deflected out, and he didn't do it. And that's unfortunate. Again, I don't know if David De Gea would have done it, but I think um, he has to be looked at. So now he's going to blame. Yeah, they're going to blame that. I don't know why Lindelof came out. To be honest, I'm not saying that Lindelof would have done anything anyway, but I mean he's upset now. We could have definitely won this game, and I guess it would be a different thing. I'm talking about Mark. We could have definitely won this game, and we had two or three really good chances on the break to score, and we did score, but we lost it. Anyway, it's really really disappointing, and hopefully it doesn't um, bad for Florida State tonight. We play LSU. For those of you who are not into watching American football, um, that's a big game for me. I mean, it's Manchester United, Florida State, St. Louis, Cardinals baseball for me, and Miami. It's unfortunate because we played so well for good parts of that game in the second half. We looked like this guy's pissing me off. He's getting so upset. I know we played pretty well in this game, but the result is the result. And now we go on the break and we got to come back. Give I don't know if Heinen's going to go out. I'm assuming he's going to do stuff with his team, the Danish thing. So uh, I see what I see. I think we're going to be really good once he's at the number 9. Like I said, at the very end, before Martial left, I thought him and Marcus was doing pretty well together. And again, I thought they were really really concerned about our blank break, and we clearly could have won that game, and we just didn't do it. Uh, we had some things go our way, but I think they had 3 shots on goal and made them all. I don't. I I think, well, no, I think, yeah, I think Saka did have one score that Onana scored, scathed, but I think Onana has to make that save. If we paid 55 million for him, he has to make that save. So I'm going to go ahead and do my ratings right now on this. I'm going to give Onana a 5. Um, he's got to make that save. He has to. He can't. The ball's almost on top of him, and I guess it was hit hard, but he's got a hand there. He's got to get around that post. It's inside the post, and it's on his near side. He has got to make that save. And if it comes out to the middle and somebody else puts it in, that's not on him. But he has to put the ball out of the goal, and he didn't do it. So I'm gonna give him a 5. Up to that point, he was probably 6.5, maybe a 7, but that lost the game. Wan-Bissaka, I thought he was 7. I thought he was immense. I don't understand why they kept going on that side so much, and not going against Delo with Saka, but Delo just pretty much stopped Saka all game. So I'm going to give Wan-Bissaka a 7. The issues is the center backs. I think Martinez was fine. He was probably a 7, then he got hurt, and he's out. So I'll give him a 7. Um, Lindelof, I give him a 6, 6.5. Don't understand why he left. I don't. Were they worried that he might get another yellow? I don't know why he brought in Evans. I don't really blame Evans for the goal, but at the same time, I kind of do, because he didn't go out there. He didn't go through the defender or I think Saliba, and you got to go through him to get to the ball and make the referee make that decision that you were impeded, and he didn't really do enough in my view. So I'll give Johnny Evans a 5. Maguire, I think he was fine. He did 6. He did everything he does. And people get all upset right now just watching him and his facial things. It's just so stupid. Just watching him on TV. We played pretty well that second half on the road, a hostile environment. Could have won that game. I still don't understand how that's not onside. It looked like it was for me. It looked like the head from the Arsenal defender was at the same line of Garnacho. And again, I thought they were going to do something about that this year. I guess not. It's going to be millimeters or the top of your Tony tails. That's going to decide who decides in this game. So, like I said, I don't. The 3-1 is not indicative. You could have said that the first 25 minutes of the game, you might say that was, but the last 60 minutes, it wasn't like that at all. They were clearly they were so afraid of us, and when Højlund got on the thing, they were just very very hurt or concerned. Did I say what I got for Delo? Delo was probably a 7. All the defenders played well, and still we gave up 3 goals, and that's not good. So, uh, Casemiro 6.57, thought he played well. Erickson probably a 6. He did a lot of good passing, but he's still a liability in midfield. We're going to get this new guy, right? The Moroccan that's supposed to stop everything. So I think with him there, it'll be an interesting time. Um, who else? Casemiro, Bruno, industry, probably a 6. He tried. He got beat up. Saka could have got a red card against him. He hit him both on both of his ankles or on his heels. Open with the studs up. Nothing happened to him there. He got a yellow, but that could have been a red. So I give him a 6. I think he tried. Martial, I thought it was a 6.5, and especially the last 20 minutes as he came off, as Arsenal was getting kind of confused and couldn't do anything. Him and Marcus started to play like they did from 5-6 years ago or 4 or 5 years ago. So I don't think he should have. I almost would have kept him on and still brought in Hoyland, or brought in Garnacho a little bit earlier. Anthony, I thought he played really, really well. Again, he's the same final ball. It's not exactly, but he did a lot of things on defense, and that's the reason why people don't understand why he starts him. Of course, he bought it for 90 million, and it's his guy. But the reason why he starts him is because regardless that he doesn't do well going forward, he still goes back and does what he's supposed to do. So I give him a 7 as well. Casemiro, I'll give him a 6. I think I already said, or 6.5. Um, so what does that mean? Marcus, I got to give him a 6.5. I think he played pretty well. First 20, 30 minutes, not so much, but after he scored the goal, he played pretty well. He was always a threat. Some of his delivery was not good. Him and Rasmussen have to be together a bit longer. There's something here. So yes, I'm very, very upset that we lost this game, especially when we had the game. We could have been up 2-1 with less than 10 minutes left, um, and we didn't get it because of VAR. And we could have probably hold off, and who knows, we might have done it. We just can't go all upset now that they brought in Evans. Something must have happened to Lindelof. Because Lindelof can play for 20 minutes or 120 minutes if he has to. So something must have happened to him, and they just pulled him out. And Evans can be okay, but still, he's the guy that didn't go through whatever that block was. It was clearly a block there to allow Rice to be open, and he didn't go through it. And you have to go through it. You have to make the referee make that call there. And if he does that, he calls it. There's probably about a minute left in that game. The only reason we had more than 3 minutes after, and they scored again, is because they celebrated for 2 minutes, so they had put that on as well. The game was down to about the last 90 seconds when they scored, just like I think it was last year, but at the same time. And I think it was from a corner as well. It's like, um, I just thought, I really sat there. Now that we have all these guys who are 6'3", 6'4", they're not going to be able to get a head in. They're not going to come in and knock over us. But they went over the top of us. And again, I hate to say it, Onana should have stopped that, and that's what sucks. Is there anybody else I forgot about? Anthony, I think, played well. Garnacho could have been a 7, could have been 8. But he was only on the field for 15 minutes. He came with 5 minutes left, the 90. Then he played to 10 minutes. He's got to come a little bit earlier, in my mind. Um, am I missing anybody? Erickson? I don't think so. It's not really indicative of the game. Is not a 3-1 game. I think that Arsenal has frailties, and we know what they are, and we just have to expose that. The fact is that even though we lost, and we only have 6 months or 6 points like we had after 4 games last year, each game we play a little bit better, and we played a lot better now, especially the second half. The problem is, what's the difference? What's the problem with Martinez and Varane? If our center backs are continually going to break down, it's going to be very difficult. What's going on with McTominay? Is he hurt? What's going on with Sancho's? It's not that we don't have good players that can come out and impact the game. We have guys on the bench still didn't come in the game today, like Palestri. they're gonna probably downgrade all some of the players, but I don't think that anybody is below a 6 other than Onana. He has to save that ball. He has to parry that across the post. He has to do it. If it's one thing. It's like Ransfield when Rashford scored. He's got his hand on it, but he's full stretched, and he just got the fingertips, and he's further out. Uh, um, Rice can only go where he's going. That's the only place he can hit it because of the angle he's at. He has to be right there, and Onana has to know that. And I think he knows that, but his hand is not strong enough to parry that around the goal. So it has to be. He has to be before. He has to be a 6 or below that. He has to be before 6. So it's either 5 or 5.5. So I'll give him a 5. And it's unfortunate because I think he played great up until that point. And I expected there was going to be a point in the game that he's going to have to make a save, and he just didn't do it when he needed to do it. That's the thing about between him and David De Gea. As much as I have issues with him, at the end of the game, David De Gea was one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time. He would make sure that we got the points, whether it was a win or a draw. Sometimes he didn't, but for the most part, when he was just getting peppered, he would make sure we get through. This guy has to do that as well. He can pass it around. He looks confident in the box and all the other shit. But at the end of the game, he has to make that save. I mean, he did it against Saka, but Saka just missed it. I mean, they had two shots, two really good shots, two really good opportunities. Really, they had one. Saka was the only one that was really a good opportunity. If you look at XG and they look at the actual percentage of Rice scoring from there, I would say it'd be less than 5%. I just and if that's the case, that means that somehow that it's the keeper. Now, if it came off, I have to see again, but did it come off of one of our players? Maybe that happened, and then that raw-footed Onana. Even so, he knows the only place he can go is right there. But maybe that's what happened. Maybe it was a deflective, but still, he's got his full hand on it, and he has to make that save. So, anyway, we go on. I think we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We're not going to challenge guys. That's not what we're going to do. Our thing is to get the top 4 and playing better ball, and then eventually get rid of these older guys and get younger players in it and play this type of play. It's there. It's right there. We've got the guy at number 9. This is going to be a transformative year. It's going to be up and down, and we're going to have games like this that really played pretty well as a guy on the road against one of the best 5 teams in the world. If you believe everybody we think about Arsenal, they finished second in the Premiership, the number 1 league apparently. They're probably the top 5 teams in the world on their pitch. Really, really outplayed them and gave them a lot of issues in the whole second half, and we just didn't get it done. Now, I can see the future. All right, so I think we'll be fine. All these other people there right now are just like they're all upset. Well, we had the game. We had a point with 90 seconds left in the game. At that point, I don't care if they scored 7 more games or goals. We played well in the second half, and really after we scored and after they scored, we played. After that point, after Odegaard scored, I thought we played pretty well for the rest of that half, and we played really well in the second half. And we got what we should have got that goal, and we didn't get it. I really want to see why it was offside. Anyway, I've been talking way too much. I'm gonna sit there and watch what Mark has to say. As I said, the only person I put down below a 6 is Onana now, and I have to go look at the thing. And if it's something he can't get to, I mean, I saw it when it happened, and I saw 1 or 2 replays after it. Obviously, when that happens, and you're a fan, you're so upset you don't want to see it again. But it really looked like he had a whole lot of a hand on that, and he's got to do something with it, regardless how fast it is. He's got to do that. And I just think that I'm not going to compare him. I think that David, I never would have thought this, but I think that David would have saved that. Anyway, you guys have a good day, and I'll see you later when they come back, and just see what else is going on my channel. I'll talk probably about other things that are not related to football at all. But it sucks. It really sucks. Because a lot of people thought we were going to come to this game and get blown out anyway, that we were not playing well. And I kept saying that I think that we had been progressing. And I think that we showed that today as well. And I think that even Ten Hag will say that. But unfortunately, people like now, after the game, they're going to say bullshit about us that we're the Glazers is destroying us, even though they spent $4 million the last 2 years or year. But anyway, it's only football. We'll be back. There's 34 more games. Win all games at home. See where that goes. Okay, you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.